it's Laura and today is my October wrap-up. Okay, so October was actually a pretty good month for me considering with uni and everything. I've read quite a few books. I read 7 books in the month of October, so we'll start off with the first one. The first book I read in October was a online book. It was part of my uni thing and I could get onto it from my uni websites. And that was The Sandman by E.T.A. Hoffmann. And now The Sandman is a kind of gothic tale that looks of kind of psychoanalytical kind of themes in it. We were studying it for psychoanalysis. It's a short story and it's kind of crazy and spooky at the same time. I really enjoyed The Sandman and I gave it 3 stars. Now next up, if you've already been watching my channel, you would have realised I had the travelling book. I don't have the travelling book by me anymore because it's off in Texas with Witty Novels. However, I have my own copy. I read The Fault in Our Stars, reread it in October, and on my reread I gave it 4 stars. So the first time I read it I gave it 5, however when I read it the second time I didn't love it as much, mostly because I knew what was going to happen. But yeah, so I gave The Fault in Our Stars 4 stars. The next book I read for the month of October was The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. I read this as part of my research for my dissertation, and yes, it is an easy book to read, but I gave this 4 stars. I just love Dr. Seuss, if you didn't already know. I love the themes in this book so much. I love the film so much and thoroughly enjoyed reading this one. Next up I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 5 stars, a reread. This is my 3rd time reading the series. I have recently just finished reading Chamber of Secrets. I'm hoping I'll slowly, with uni, reread the series because once I start, I cannot finish. I did read this for uni, however, who's not going to resist picking this up? 5 stars all the way. Now the next book I read on iBooks and I purchased it a while ago. I watched Casey Ann's new adult recommendations video a while ago. She talked about On the Island by Tracy Garvis Graves. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I had mixed feelings about it really. I found it very kind of cliche. The situation that Tracy puts these characters in seems too perfect and there's just too much luck in it, I think. There is some good parts and I've really enjoyed reading it. I will leave Casey Ann's video down below so you can go check out her recommendations and she'll give a little bit more description than I am because I'm hopeless with that. But it's basically about a teacher or a tutor that goes on a flight with her student because her student's going on holiday and he's been told he has to catch up on work because he missed a lot of school. And then the guy in the plane, he has a heart attack and they end up on a deserted island. And things start to go from there really. So yeah, it was a really good book. I couldn't put it down. I gave this book 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. However, there was some kind of cliche elements that I've already mentioned. The next book I have is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Now, I've read this when I was back in primary school. I can hardly remember it. But I remember watching the really old film. Not the recent film, the really old one with Wilbur's voice. I can have Wilbur's voice in my head. I can't do an impression, but I have it in my head. I was reading this for my dissertation and I'm just so glad I reread this because even rereading it, I just realised how much I knew the story so well and how much I must have watched the film. I thoroughly enjoyed this and find it's a very beautiful classic tale. The final book I read in October was Isla and the Happily Ever After. However, I gave this one 3 stars. A lot of people really enjoy the Stephanie Perkins series. I enjoyed Anna and the French Kiss and kind of enjoyed Lola and the Boy Next Door. And Isla and the Happy Ever After just kind of let me down. The good part about Isla was the fact that the couple wasn't already in a relationship. That really irritated me in the first 2 books because I don't think people realise that you don't get what you want, and if people are already in a relationship you should actually just let them have that relationship, and if it falls apart then that's their business. You don't just butt in on someone else's relationship. It just pisses me off. Mostly obviously because I'm in a relationship and I would hate that if that was me. However, Isla, I didn't connect to any of the characters. I felt there was no kind of development, and I don't know, I just didn't think it was that brilliant. I do like the Anne and the French Kiss trilogy. However, I wouldn't say they're amazing books. I enjoyed reading them and they're really cute and fluffy books. However, I have to be honest and say I wouldn't put them in any great works kind of thing. I think they're enjoyable to read and fluffy, but that's about it for me. And Isla, it had the fluffiness, but the storyline was not as good and the characters weren't as interesting. So I had to give it 3 stars. So that's the end of my October wrap up. I'll maybe do a November TBR or November wrap up, but it depends how things go. I'm trying to just focus on getting at least 1 video up a week, even if it is Top 5 Wednesday, because I don't want to disappear off the face of the earth like I did last year when I went back to uni. So yeah, let me know what you've been reading this month, and I can't wait to hear your comments.